Hello guys, welcome back to the Lumley trading video. In this one we are going through First Republic Bank, ticker FRC. Now they do have their earnings after hours today, and this is why we're really picking this up, because this is one of the basically strongest hit banks in the banking crisis. We were at about $120 pushed down to around $10. Obviously now we've bounced a tiny bit to about $15, but what is really the outcome we expect coming into this earnings? So obviously we can't predict, we can't really kind of say whether the earnings will be good or bad. So it's more, how can we manage a trade going into it? And this is personally something I am trading just as a heads up, so there might be a bit of personal bias, but I always like to disclaim that position. So we have some that expire in the 4 days and some that are just a bit long dated, going into 120 day out expiries. But now why this is key and why I've taken a position is if we look over at what's happening on the option chains in the next 4 days, it's pricing in a move of up to around $5. Now, obviously, we're at $15. What are we really expecting coming on this earnings? So if they're bad, obviously, the stock will sink. Those options will most likely go to zero. Again, we're looking at the calls on this. So they'll go to zero. So really, the way I'm trading this is what I put into this trade, I am willing to lose. But why I want to still play a position is if it comes out the deposits have increased, or at least they're not, or they, are somewhat decent, and it's mainly going to be on the focus on the withdrawals. How have the withdrawals affected First Republic Bank? Are they actually as bad as everyone thought? Because really, this is going to be the key thing. If they're nowhere near as bad as expected, this stock will fly. And so that's really why I'm focusing on this, because again, the options are relatively cheap. It's only pricing in a $5 move. I think if the deposits increase, or again, are not too poor, but again, main focus on the withdrawals. If the withdrawals aren't too heavy, this is really going to be good news for the stock. We should see it fly. So when looking at this, the main focus I have is firstly, where are our deviations? So I'll pull this over just so it covers the screen. So our first deviation over on the 1 year chart is at $29. We're also at statistical mean on the 6 month chart, which is around 1550. So from a technical standpoint, if we break through this 15, more likely than not, we're going to break all the way to $29. So that's really my main focus on this earnings release, is if it is good, are we likely to see a 100% increase? And again, it is a banking stock. It's not a small cap gapper. It's not going to probably move like them. But, we did see this stock down about 40% in a day. Do we think it can jump 100 again if the withdrawals in the bank are not that bad? Or again, a lot less than expected? I could easily see this stock flying. And again, that's going to be that target. We might not gap to it overnight, but let's say we gap to 2025. We can definitely trend that move, because I think that the momentum will switch to a lot more of the upside potential. So that's why, again, I'm just holding a position coming into this basically earnings. I think there is a lot of upside on it. And again, there is going to be downside. It is going to be a volatile release. So it's all about, if you're going into this with whether you shares or outright calls, again, just to make sure whatever in it you are willing to lose, because again, it is going to be volatile, especially if you're playing the options. If you get the direction wrong, more likely than not, they're going to go to basically nothing. So again, that's my main thing. And again, I would play this as a straddle because I am expecting a bigger move. But I think if we go to the downside, we won't see as big as a move, because again, it's already been hit so hard. A lot of it is priced in, probably more than we will expect. So I think even if we did get hit to the downside, I don't see us pushing, 40% to the downside. So it may not make or even 5 points. I don't really see us going back down to that 52-week low. So I don't think the straddle would be the most profitable way. It's more, it makes sense to reduce the amount of money I'm putting into the trade and only play the upside. So that's what I'm looking at on FRC. Again, that's going to be our target. If we did get some extreme breakout, then we do have targets taking us around to around $70. And really, if we got there, I'd be out completely out of the trade. Just because, again, it is coming into that fair value. 2 reasons for resistance. Really expecting off a technical standpoint a heavy pullback. And again, even if it's not as bad as expected, we probably won't get back to the pre-banking level, just because, again, they would have still been hit somewhat. There is definitely going to be a revenue kind of impact on what has happened. So it doesn't really justify going back to where it was before. So those are the main 3 levels I'm paying attention to. Obviously, the 15 where we are now. Ideally, we can kind of close above that, but again, it's all going to matter on the release at the end of the day. If we can, if the release is good, again, got that main target of $30, definitely locking in profits if we hit that kind of level. And again, I'll probably hold some of them, especially that longer call option we have, to hopefully that $70 target. Again, if you go to the downside, I already know when markets open tomorrow, those calls are basically going to be worth nothing. So again, probably won't be trading it at all if it goes to the downside. So that is a quick breakdown on First Republic Bank. Let me know if you're trading it below. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, why not drop a like and subscribe and check out this analysis here.